Hi, how are you? I was thinking I would just talk about something that just comes up so often. I see it on social media. I get asked it sometimes. And that is, is my child just going to learn how to calm down? Maybe at the moment they're getting very stressed about school, they're getting very stressed about even going out during COVID times. Maybe they are losing it quite a lot, getting very annoyed, maybe shouting, hitting out. All sorts of things. People ask me about, can they just learn to stop doing this? So if I talk to them and I explain to them, these are the reasons why it's not okay to do this, this is what you need to do instead, and give them kind of long cognitive intellectual explanations about how to behave differently. And that sounds it sounds really reasonable, doesn't it? But the thing with any kind of hot energy like that, any kind of reactive energy, any behaviours that are fueled by the fight-flight system, which is here in the middle of our body, it's not a thought-through, conscious reaction and response on the behalf of your child. And there's the same as it isn't in us. If we get really shouty and ranty and get very upset with somebody or something, it's clearly not coming from our intelligent front of brain thinking part, the prefrontal cortex. It's definitely not coming from there, because none of us would yell at our child if we were able to be in our calm thinking focused brain. There's just no way. Afterwards, most of us, we feel terrible if we've yelled at our child, and we do know it's not a great thing to do. And clearly, as I say, it hasn't come from our rational, reflective thinking brain. So same for a child, when they are asked to put their shoes on and they suddenly have a massive meltdown and they're yelling and screaming and it just escalates out of nowhere, seemingly. It's not a rational response. But of course, what we do is probably the thing that we would least like if we were struggling. We go in quite often and say, well, what's the matter? Well, what's the problem? Just put your shoes on, or why aren't you? And we do a lot of talking, which is, again, it's coming from our kind of intellectual rationalizing. Let's talk about this, or let me explain to you why you need to put your shoes on now and how, and kind of talk you through this situation. But of course it doesn't help you and it doesn't help them, because it can soon lead to more frustration. It can soon lead to us getting more and more annoyed, and all they're really hearing is lots of blah 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 blah, but they get the kind of irritated energy from us. And whether they get the shoes on or not, in the end, the learning they get from it is, when I am struggling emotionally and possibly physically with shoes, who knows, then the person that I really need to come and be calm and just be beside me and check how I'm feeling, because that's the bit that I'm struggling with for whatever reason, is I've just got overwhelmed emotionally and maybe physically as well. Their nervous system again has gone into fight-flight mode. I need the calm person to come. I need the calm, kind person to come and say, oh, wow, that looks really tough. Let me just take a breath. Is it okay if I sit next to you? Wow, this looks tough. And then just be really calm and kind. And then maybe they will match your calmness. This is actually how a child learns to come from this state of too muchness, I'm overwhelmed physically and emotionally, back to, I feel okay again, I feel safe again. Now, they don't intellectually go through that process of thinking that, but their system learns it. Oh, I can be struggling and then I can come back to feeling okay again. And that's the beauty. When we go through this process again and again, as much as is humanly possible with a child, then over many years their system learns, I can feel overwhelmed, or I can feel shut down and maybe ashamed or whatever. But now I know the road back to feeling okay again. Life is okay, I'm okay, I can do this thing. And that's what we definitely want for our children, all of us, is that, when they go out into the wider world and stuff comes along, as it does, even for children, never mind as adults, that they can have that kind of response of, but their system knows, okay, I can be like this, take a breath, and actually what my system has learned from the kind, calm person coming beside me is it will be okay again. Everything will be okay. So that's the joy of taking this very simple, speak less, be more with your child approach than lots and lots of talking. A thought to leave you with is, if you just bashed your car on a wall, and somebody came rushing up and you've literally just done it, and you just in that state, and they came and they talked to you a lot about the wall and the car and how you should have reversed differently, and are you okay, and blah, 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 blah. It would just be the last thing. And especially if they were trying to then tell you how to reverse the car and how you could have done it better, it's like the last thing. You're not in your thinking rational brain, you're in your big emotional, I'm scared, I've had a shock, survival, fight, flight, or completely shut down parts of you. And those are not talking, listening, conversing bits. Whereas if they come and they're kind and they're calm and they've calmed themselves down and they're just there as a calm energy, are you okay? Let's just take a breath. Let's just check you're okay. That's exactly, I think, what everyone in the universe wants when they are struggling. And it's exactly what our children want and need. It doesn't matter what age they are, whether they're 2 or they're 18. They still want and need this calm, kind, connecting energy to bring them out of fight, flight, or bring them up from shutdown back to, okay, I'm safe. I'm all right. This is all going to be okay. And that's how children's systems over time learn to come back to calmness. So it isn't a top-down approach of I can think myself, I must be calm now, it's just shoes I'm trying to put on. It's really this bottom-up, from the body, calm the body, soothe the emotions, have connection with somebody safe. And when that happens again and again and again, then that becomes internalized, and they've got that forevermore. And what a beautiful gift we can give our children. And, I'm not going to sit here saying, I always did that with my son. I didn't. But when I did, oh my goodness, it was beyond magical. And that was years ago when I didn't even know the science. I just, intuitively, when I could, did this. And now I know the science, I would do this, on pain of death. I would try and do this every single time. So I hope that's useful to you, and please don't beat yourselves up if you think, oh my goodness, I've been doing the complete opposite. We've all done the complete opposite, I'm pretty sure. But now you have a different approach, and you can be really certain that being this calm, kind, soothing presence is exactly what your child needs now and will always, always need.